To continue, we're gonna do some fan questions. So as you know, like I posted the announcement, and I told everybody to, if you guys have any burning questions for Indah, as long as it's not perverted, we're gonna ask them, right?
As long as it's not perverted. I saw your one friend ask me, "What's my body count?" White collar fit.
Yeah, white collar fit asked that. Of course, he asked that, right? So okay, let's not answer that, even though I literally promised him that we would answer it. Let's not.
Yes, big dick energy.
Yeah,
If the woman had the ability to cry in public, she would cry.
She would have.
She would have, but she's not that kind of woman. What do you do?
Did you wake up in the morning like this? Like, holy shit, bro.
You wake up in the morning and just choose violence.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. All right. Is that the countdown?
It's a clap. You can start with
I want a countdown, Dennis.
3, 2, 1, rolling.
What's up, guys? We're back. Thanks for sticking around. We're gonna talk a bit about Indah's book. It's called Transient: The Bridge Between Worlds.
She's a mouthful. Basically, it's a little bit of a nonfiction memoir of just, it kind of goes through my life a little bit of growing up as a third culture kid, going to international schools here in Jakarta, and then focusing a little bit more on the part of my life where I moved to LA, and it was, culture shock.
LA.
But yes, it's a little bit of a memoir, but I thought, when I was writing it, I was like, I kind of just don't want this to be just all about me, because that seems a little bit narcissistic, even for me. And so I was like, okay, no, I gotta pull in a bunch of other people too. And so I interviewed about 100 international students from all over the world, and I put in their quotes in the book as well. I also had the opportunity to interview actor and comedian Ronnie Chung, as well as U.S. Senator of Illinois, Tammy Duckworth, who...
She went to JIS!
Yes! Oh my God, the JIS.
She's like our most successful alumni.
Is she really?
I mean, below me, yeah.
But yes, so Senator Duckworth is in there, Ronnie is in there, and about 100 other international students, and of course, yours truly. So buy the book. It's available right now on Amazon and Barnes & Nobles in the U.S. and Amazon marketplaces all around the world. And coming soon to Indonesia. I know I got a lot of questions about that, but it's coming soon, I promise.
Perfect. To continue, we're gonna do some fan questions. So as you know, I posted the announcement, and I told everybody to, if you guys have any burning questions for Indah, as long as it's not perverted, we're gonna ask them, right?
As long as it's not perverted. I saw your one friend ask me, "What's my body count?" White collar fit.
Yeah, white collar fit asked that. Of course, he asked that, right? So okay, let's not answer that, even though I literally promised him that we would answer it. Let's not. Let's go with this one first.
Just to spite him.
Yeah, just to spite him, exactly. From Darlene070, what is your main goal in life? Increase my body count.
I mean, if we really want to talk about the body count, but main goal in life, God, oh my gosh, it's one of those things.
It's a tough question, yeah.
It is a tough question. And we were kind of talking about this just now behind the scenes a little bit. I always kind of thought my big thing, at the end of the day, whatever career it is that I have, the most important thing to me is just being able to give back to people, especially the community that has raised me. A lot of it requires me getting really, really
rich first.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna. I tell people, and they're like, "So you just basically want to get really, really rich and throw all the money away?" And, and it's just yeah, kinda. But I'm not really answering this question in a coherent way. I'm so sorry.
No, but it's such a general question, and that also it's kind of tough for us to answer.
Yeah, and especially just because also right now it's I'm literally in the middle of what could be the career.
Right, building something.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of building something right now. I'm still. It's just. I think it's too soon to be asking that, but I know that at the whatever career it is that I have, what most important to me is that I can, use all the privileges that I have acquired for myself and give a little bit back to the people around me, especially the community that has raised me.
Create something positive.
So much of it, it revolves around coming back to Indonesia and giving back to Yeah, Indonesians, my community, my people.
This next one we have from Julian. Do you remember Julian? Julian Furry, yeah. It's a paragraph, but I promised her I'd ask it, so here we go. Oh my god, I'm so excited for this one. Personally, I felt a huge culture shock coming to the US even though I am half American. Speak English fluently and I'm white passing. So I guess my question is, do you guys think this gado culture we're exposed to is advantageous or is it a weakness?
And that's
like an amazing question.
That is an amazing question. Long question.
Right.
I also didn't know she was half.
She is half American, half Indonesian.
No, literally, like, and this is so off topic, but people, like, the happies like her, like Caroline,
right.
Like, you just, like, all white.
Yeah. It's a dominant gene, yeah.
It is a dominant gene, yeah. But to answer the question being, like, it's the gado culture.
Yeah, is it positive, has it had a positive impact on you, or like, mostly a negative impact?
No, I would say, like, most of it is positive because, I would say overall the biggest benefit to it is that you grow up accustomed to right being kind of, not to say like in between worlds, although that is part of it, which is why I kind of tended to book that too. Like you are kind of in between worlds, but you grow up accustomed to, how do I phrase this?
Like all sorts of people in a sense, right? Like you can kind of mingle with all sorts of people, right? Like you're not just kind of closed into one culture in a sense.
Because you grow up being exposed to people of all cultures and races and nationalities, and so like you're just you're adaptable wherever you go in the world.
Exactly.
The cons of it is the constant identity crisis of where do I belong,
right?
And just the constant need of, I guess, part of it, and like I've experienced this personally too, of like having to constantly validate your identity to other people, and having to explain yourself and like prove yourself. That, like you gotta prove, like if you're half white, half Indonesian, like that constantly having to prove that you're Indonesian enough.
Yes, for when you're with the Indonesian family, and then when you go to the other side, they're like, okay, you're the Indonesian now, you know?
Yeah. I would say.
That's a really good question.
Well, before that, she also asked, is it okay to pick and choose what we like from each culture, or is that
or is that like snowflake?
What did they say? It's
cultural appropriation. There you
go. Something like that. I don't really know. But that was kind of what we were talking about earlier, where it's like because someone also like on this post asked me like which culture shaped me
the most.
Being Chinese Indonesian and like but exposed to Western culture, like which culture shaped me the most. And like I was talking to Brandon about how much I hate that question, just because whatever answer you give, it never comes without the guilt of feeling like you betrayed one culture for another.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the other listeners listening on this, I'm Chinese Indonesian in the sense of I'm fully Chinese, like ethnically, but like Indonesian is my nationality, is my passport, my citizenship. And so growing up, for me, it was always the question of, do you feel more Chinese? Do you feel more Indonesian?
Right.
And it's like, how do you even quantify that?
How do you quantify that, you know?
It kind of depends.
Which culture shaped you more to become into today? That was by Gazelia.
Yeah,
right.
And then part of it too, and I don't know if this kind of answers the question or at least adds to my answer, but like for people like you and me, it's also like we're Eastern background, but we grew up exposed so much to Western culture that it kind of feels like our own culture, but it's not something that we can claim as our own. Right. You know what I mean?
It almost goes back to like nature or nurture, kind of, in a sense, you know, like we're born Indo, but then we grow up like Western in a way, right?
You know, is it okay to pick and choose what we like from each culture, or is that disrespectful? Again, like the whole like, is it disrespectful? I feel like it's really
it's relative who you're talking to in a sense,
I don't want to get canceled for this, but it's like you really got to be the snowflakiest social justice warrior out there to be like disrespected by someone picking a culture for them.
Yeah, exactly.
That they already belong to, but they belong to two, and they just kind of like always, for their own reason, prefer one more over the other.
One or the other,
like
right.
They're closer to one more over the other. And for you to be disrespected by their personal choice for their own self is like, calm down. You know?
Yeah.
Or just like, or how to identify in different situations.
Right.
You know, when you think about it, because like, then this is like, for me personally, it's just, I say that because there are some, what's the word? There are some instances and some situations where I do feel more Chinese than Indonesian.
Right.
Like that is the culture that, like in that situation, is the more relevant culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it just
depending on who you're around, who you're talking to as well.
Depends on
obviously.
who you're around. It depends on the situation where you at. Like, it depends. And then what's the next question she asked?
I want to ask this one though, from Raymond Gultom, handsome guy. Have you ever met him?
Yes.
You're really handsome
So
guy.
sexy.
So clever too, right? It's really rare that people are that handsome and clever at the same time.
Right?
Right. Oh my god, amazing. If he was here, I would just give him a big, big hug and kiss. He asked, if you could change one thing about your third cultural life, what would it be and why? If you could give one part of your third cultural life to someone else because you love it so much, what would it be and why?
The part about our third culture life, growing up in the international school system, the part that I hate the most, and I'm sure you relate to this too,
Right.
is just having to constantly say goodbye to people.
Oh.
And I talk about that in the book. Remember back in GIST?
Oh my god.
I remember back in GIST, at the end of every semester, our final assembly
was so depressing.
Right, the whole high school, our assembly, and they would call up all of the people
that are leaving.
The students and the faculty and the staff that were leaving, and like everybody would stand up on stage.
Sad as
and
fuck.
there was never a year, all my years at GIST, there was never a year where I did not know someone on
right.
that stage.
Right.
You know
That's such
a
good answer. Yeah,
and
yeah,
literally every semester, even
right.
sometimes, right? Because some people
halfway through,
halfway through, which is always the most tragic.
Kasian, dude. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Like just the stress of that. But it's like that is probably the thing that is the biggest disadvantage of the kind of lifestyle that we live.
I agree with you, dude.
Right? It's that I would say that it's different for everybody, but for me personally, that was the thing that took the toll on me the most growing up. And
right.
It's
like you get to know someone really close, and then suddenly you find out like either like their dad's contract with this company finished, and now they get moved abroad, because a lot of the people, they're expatriates in GIST. They're there because of their dad's job, probably, right? Like
so a lot of our friendships and relationships, they were like
prematurely cut off, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, it does something to you growing up. Like it gives you all of these like separation anxiety.
Yeah. Actually.
on a more, I guess, personal and more serious note, like it has, like for me at least personally, it developed into this thing of like I'm scared to really get close to someone. And like all the way up to high school, even like for college, like that was always my fear. Like I would get so attached to someone, and then like either I'm gonna have to leave or they're gonna have to leave. Right. Oh, I remember this so clearly because this was a chapter that was the easiest for. Like, in my book, I talk about this. It was the easiest for me to write just because like I already like.
All in your head, right?
It's all in my head, and I just I let everything out, and I actually cried writing this one.
Was it therapeutic in a sense?
Oh, so, yeah, cathartic. Is that the word? Yeah,
rate it is. Yeah.
So cathartic. It was probably my favorite chapter.
That's a really good answer. No, I agree with that. Even like did my band in high school. Do you remember my band, Walrus Reception? We played on like Just Talk and Unplugged and everything. Dude, I told my boys like, you guys are my best friends. Like, I love you forever. Literally graduated. Everyone went separate.
I know.
What I mean? My guitarist is in like the States. My bassist is in Australia. My drummer's in you know what I'm saying? Like in Canada. Like I think that is one of the sad things, I guess, about like living this international life. I agree. That's a really good answer.
And if I could, to answer the question, if I could change one thing about the third culture life, the international student life, whatever you want to call it, is just, my gosh, like the rate at which people come and go, like it needs to slow down. But at the same time, I think because I've grown up so accustomed, like you and me, we grew up so accustomed to like constantly having to say goodbye to one person and hello to another. It makes you cherish all the new relationships all the more.
And all the time that you do have with them. That's right.
Yeah.
That's a great answer. Are you satisfied with your answer?
Huh? Raymond's right behind the camera.
Do you want
Yes, I am.
You're satisfied, yeah?
He's satisfied.
Yes, great.
If you could give one part of your third culture life to someone else because you love it so much, and I do, what would it be and why? I think, and I guess it's kind of ironic because of like my first answer, but I really like if I could give any part of all this experience to like everybody around the world, or just like to people in general, I feel like the part that I would give is just the ability to meet people of different cultures.
I agree. It's kind of a double-edged sword, isn't it?
It is a double-edged sword. It really is, because it's like you get to meet. The only reason why you get to meet all these people from different cultures and backgrounds and races is because they come and so much.
Right, dude. No, exactly. No, I completely understand. It is a double-edged sword in that sense.
It really is. But when I left to America, and like I look back on my life here in Jakarta, growing up, like being exposed to people with so many diverse backgrounds, and then coming to America and realizing like this is not normal.
Yeah, it's not. It's not
like. Yeah. And did you ever have that moment like growing up in high school? You thought everybody was just growing up the way we were.
Yes. Of course. You take it for granted. It's what you know. It's what you know?
Because that's all that we've ever known our whole lives. And because I've met people at in America that have literally like I was the first Asian that they've ever talked to.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, they've never met anybody from Indonesia. They don't even know what Indonesia was, where it is.
They're like, oh, it's the country below Bali. I'm like, fuck you. Bali's in Indonesia, dude. Fucking hell.
Oh, but
yeah.
No, and I come to America and I meet all these people that have never had that kind of an experience.
Right.
And it makes me just realize just the value of everything that I've ever had growing up. It's like you can't put money on that.
You cannot quantify. And also to go back to the double-edged sword thing, like I think another positive is that whatever country you decided to travel to or visit, you can kind of call someone that you know.
You know what? In the last video with Jay, Bishka literally says that. She's like, I can travel all around the world.
And I have a friend there.
And I got a couch to crash on.
Exactly.
And that's actually so true.
Right? That's one of the positives. Like, I randomly, my mom was like, let's go to Amsterdam. I'm like, okay, call you in. You know what I mean? I went to London, like, I went to London to watch a Liverpool game with my wife. I had Matthew there. Call him. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, so that is one of the positives.
I went to Korea and it's an entire group chat.
Exactly! Exactly!
Right! So, it's just, that is definitely one part of the third culture life, international life, that I feel like, oh gosh, if I could, I'd give everybody in the world that kind of a feeling.
I think we would have more unity, I think, as well.
Oh, that
in the
too.
world.
It would solve so many
fucking problems, bro.
It would solve so many fucking problems.
You want to pick one more question to answer?
Yeah, go for it. Right underneath us, Garrett.
You wanna answer Garrett's? This is pretty good. Yeah, let's go for Garrett's. How do you feel the people and the culture have just shaped you as a person from 9th grade to graduation? And do you have any memorable key shaping moments?
You know what? On the top of my head, I know exactly what to answer for the memorable key shaping moments.
Right, go for it.
So, you definitely remember this because you're only 1 grade above me.
Yeah.
So, do you remember my teeny weeny ninth grader little ass getting up on stage running for student
student council. Right.
CSC, like the big high school, not the like individual grade one.
Yeah, the entire high school one.
Like I'm standing up on stage in front of the entire fucking high school.
Your upperclassmen and everything.
Everybody, and I was in 9th grade too. So
I think I remember this, or I might have skipped it because I'm kidding.
You know what? I expect that from you.
Yeah. Or I was in detention.
You're laughing because it's true. This is the kind of man like you just and if he's not in assembly, it's because he had to skip it. Yeah, you're serving detention during.
Yeah, one or the other.
Did you ever serve detention?
Dude, I did like detention like once a week at least. Yeah. It was fucked up. Teacher would just be like, "Oh, you again?" And I just sit down.
What? Oh my God! Wait, what's his name? Paharis?
Yeah. If he comes in bringing a note, the entire class goes and just looks at me. I swear.
Oh my God, I never got into trouble up until like probably like I started having an attitude like towards the end of high school.
Senior year.
That's when I really like. Yeah.
Tell the story. The CSC story.
Oh yeah, sorry. How many times have I gone derailed?
It's okay.
Every year at GIS, the entire high school, we have this thing called the Central Student Council.
Right.
Student council for the entire high school. Every year since 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade,
I
did like all those 3 times. Like I ran every single year, and I don't know if you remember this part. I was never elected. I was never elected. I ran 3 times. Never elected, and I
think I know where you're going with this. Keep going.
Yeah, because and you know what, I've always known better, even back in high school, that it really didn't matter whether or not I got elected because a lot of it was a popularity contest.
I was about to say.
It's a fucking popularity contest. Like,
it wasn't how good your speech was, what you have to offer to the table, what your plans are for the coming years doesn't fucking matter.
No shade, but I remember I was a sophomore year, and sophomore year I had such strong credentials, and I ran up against this guy. Like he was in my grade.
We'll bleep it. Tell me his name.
Do you remember? I'm like, oh my God, no, please, like, no shade because I love him so much. He is one of those, like, I go all the way back with. I love him so much. Well. No shade to him, but like it was either me or him up for vice president, and vice president for student council was service oriented.
Right.
I have way more credentials than everybody picked. and I know they did that because he's just way more popular than me.
Yeah.
Like straight up, like that's just the tea.
Right, and you realize at that point.
At that point, and no, but like even like since the very beginning, like I kind of always knew better that like it didn't really matter whether or not I got elected, but I wanted to put myself out there, and it was kind of something like a little personal experiment in a way too, of like facing my fears and just kind of like pull a Nike and just do it, you know, like grab myself in big girl panties and just do it. And I know some people were laughing that like, yeah, oh my gosh, like imagine running three times in a row and nobody ever elected you. Like some people were, you know, kind of throwing me shade at that one and like trying to make fun of me for it. But you know what? It
validation in a sense, right?
It confirmed to me what I have told myself for the longest time, that is that it doesn't matter the result. The Hannah Montana song is not, you know, how does the lyric go? It's a climb.
How does it go?
I don't know how fast I get there. And
you might be surprised. I don't really listen to Hannah Montana.
No, it ain't. No, it's not about.
Yeah.
No, but
I completely understand.
It's not about what's on the other side. It's the climb of it. It's the climb. And looking back now, of like all those three consecutive years that I ran and never got elected and like got made fun of, like I wouldn't change a thing.
Good,
like that.
Because you walked out of it a better person.
Oh, so much, and It is a testament to my resilience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. On that note, actually, I think that's all the time we have today. Thank you. Again, please give me a big applause for my guest, Indah Gunawan. I'd love to have you back on the show if you can.
Have me back.
Yeah, that'd be great. Did you have a good time?
Oh, such a good time.
Hell yeah,
and
guys.
I want more hot dogs the next time we come here.
Woo! We're gonna get Snags and Shakes again. Oh, right, back to Snags and Shakes, guys. Snags and Shakes. Follow up here. Give them a like and a follow and order their shit.
If you like the taste of cookies and cream milkshake and diabetes.
Hell yeah. See you guys around. Woo! Done. Thank you, Indah.
Damn.
Wrap. Yeah.